Grr, arg.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mixtape Podcast, a podcast where we review films from a screenwriter's perspective. I will be your host. My name is Dean Stark, and I am joined, as always, by my co host, Marcelo Inestroza. And up this week is one of my favorite movies of all time. That's why I picked it. We're doing Congo, released in 1995, directed by Frank Marshall, written by John Patrick Stanley, based on the novel Congo by Michael Crichton. And would you believe it, Marcelo? I actually didn't know that this was based on a book by Michael Crichton. I had no idea.
I didn't know either, and I didn't know who directed this movie either. First of all, again, I had no idea who this movie was. That this movie was based on a Michael Crichton book, because Michael Crichton is one of my favorite authors of all time. And the fact that this movie was directed by the legendary producer Frank Marshall was a surprise to me as well.
Yeah. Can you believe I've seen this movie so many times? I didn't know any of this, but now I know. And now everybody else knows. And if you don't know what Congo is about, it's about this. When an expedition to the African Congo ends in disaster, a new team is assembled to find out what went wrong. Now, I say this is the opening scene, but I'm going to condense the first little bit because it's just little scenes after the other, and then we're going to kind of talk about it. So the opening scene is we follow an expedition team who hike through the Congo jungle to reach their destination on top of a mountain. And now we switch to Houston, Texas, and we meet the amazing Dr. Ross, played by Laura Linney. She is my favorite. No, I'm sorry. She's my second favorite character in this movie. I never realized what a boss she was in this movie until I'm analyzing it. I'm like, damn, she is a boss. Yes? No? Yes, boss?
Yes, Laura Linney as this character was absolutely a boss bitch. I really, really liked the way that she respected herself. And there are various times in this movie where men try to fondle her and try to get in her favor, but she just is not having any of it. And I love the way that she respects herself. Guys, I know that sounds funny, but when this movie was made, women on film weren't portrayed so badass and so independently. So it was really, really nice to see a character made in the 90s that respected herself the way that she did.
Correct. For the time, you often didn't see women taking charge and going, no, I don't need your help. I actually have the expertise to do this. So you're absolutely right. So we switched to Dr. Ross, and she works for a company called Travacom, and she rushes into an office with a TV screen and gets a video transmission from the expedition team that we just saw, who is on the mountain. Now, a team member named Charles said he found it. He found what they were looking for, and it's rare blue diamond dust. And he puts it into this like contraption gun thingy. I can't really describe it. And fires it. And it fires like a laser that incinerates a bush. Think like a lightsaber. It's a fire thingy. It's really cool. So then the transmission ends, and Charles gets called over by a team member saying the team member has found something he needs to show him. They jump into a lagoon thing, and they swim like under an arch. When they come up, they see all these like beautiful ruins. And then the team member goes, listen, I'm going to grab my bag and we're going to get out of here, but we're going to bring the rest of the expedition team so we can explore. And so Charles says, yeah, okay. So the guy goes and grabs his bag, and he's not coming back. He's not coming back. So he sits down and he starts eating a Hershey bar. Now listen, Charles just swam underwater and then he gets a Hershey bar out of his pocket. Dude. Dude, no. Dude, no.
Yeah, no. You got to wait 10 minutes before you swim, because if you don't wait 10 minutes, you're going to get cramps.
I was thinking more it was going to be soggy. It's just had it under the water. But yes, do not swim right after you've eaten. You're going to get cramps. Yes, I was told that too, and it's a bunch of baloney. Anyway, I'm nearly finished the scene. So he's waiting. He's eating a Hershey bar. And he's like, dude, you're taking so long. Like, what is this? And then something is thrown at Charles, and he picks it up, and it's an eyeball, a human eyeball. And he's like, and then he turns around, and he's terrified, and he just screams. We don't see what he's looking at. We know that it's something that's extremely scary enough to like scare a grown-ass man. So that was kind of the beginning setup of the movie. What did you think?
I thought the beginning setup of this movie was really, really great because Frank Marshall does a great job of setting up the MacGuffin of this movie, which is the rock that Charles is collecting in this rainforest that his boss wants. So like it's just really, really efficient storytelling that Frank Marshall gave to us. And the fact that the company that Laura Linney works for is concerned with making money to improve their bottom line also works because it puts the company that Laura Linney works for against her. So I really like how Frank Marshall set the table in this opening scene. I think it was rather wonderful, and the way that the scene sort of concludes to push Laura Linney to go to Africa to save the man that she loves is absolutely fantastic.
Scene one, or the next scene, is we're back at HQ with Dr. Ross, and Dr. Ross and the CEO are waiting for Charles to transmit because he said he would transmit, in an hour, but he's not transmitting. So the CEO remote activates the camera and he starts panning the camera, and then we see everyone at the camp dead. Everything's fucked up, and it's just like, what the fuck happened? And then an animal rushes past the camera really fast, growls, and then pushes the camera over, destroying it, and they lose transmission. Now, the CEO is pissed. And then he starts smashing a TV, and he's like, you know what? If we don't get someone over there, they're going to close the borders. They'll never get, we'll never get back there. Like, he needs the diamond. He needs the rare blue diamond. He's just an ass, and he doesn't care about the dead people or anything. He just cares about the diamond because he needs it to upgrade his communications network, because his communications is kind of like it's dying, and if he doesn't get this diamond, his whole company is going to fall apart. So now he tells Dr. Ross, you can go, you have to go get the diamond. And she's like, are you human? And he goes, I can be human later. Oh my god, the dialogue in this movie is fucking great. This is probably some of my favorite dialogue from Dr. Ross, and this is when she's not fucking around. Charles is the CEO's son. And Dr. Ross asks the CEO, tell me you love your son. And he says, I do. And that's why you're sending me. And he says, it is. And she goes to walk out of the office and she looks at him and she says, if I have one moment where I think otherwise, I will make you sorry. This is her boss. And then she just walks the fuck out. And I'm like, dude, like, I love you. I love you. Thoughts?
Yeah, that speech by Dr. Ross was absolutely fantastic, but I really, really did feel that that her boss, the CEO and the owner of this company, his character really, really annoyed me because it really felt like Frank Marshall gave this actor one note and it's to be over the top all the time, and that was really, really unfortunate to me because I really felt that his character could have played a different level. Like if he was a little bit more menacing, I thought maybe it would have played better. But he came off to me as just a ridiculous cartoon that really didn't have bark to his bite. So that was really, really disappointing to me. But I did like the fact that before Dr. Ross left, like Dean said, she actually put her foot down and made it absolutely clear, if she gets one hint that the CEO wants to put his company's interest over the safety of herself or her son, she's going to fucking do what she thinks she has to do to get out of the situation and to bring his son back to him. So I really, really like that although she's dealing with this towering character that she works for, that she sticks by her guns. And that's what makes her into a wonderful character for this film.
Okay, so now we go to Berkeley, California, and we meet Dr. Elliot, who has kind of tweaked a device that turns sign language into speech, and it's like this arm device that you put on, and when you do sign language with that arm, it turns it into speech. So he's put it on a gorilla named Amy, and he's taught her sign language, and he does a demonstration of this for people. So when she does the sign language, it talks. So now you've got a talking gorilla. Now, in the audience is a character that we're going to get introduced to called Herkimer Homolka, who holds a ring in his hand with an eye engraved on it. And it's the same icon that is in one of Amy's artworks on stage behind them when they're giving the demonstration. Now, that night, Amy wakes up from a nightmare, and Dr. Elliot has no idea what to do. He's like, she's had a nightmare every night this week. Like, I don't know what's wrong. And then he goes into her playroom and he looks around the room and he's like, what is this room starting to look like? And all her paintings are of the jungle. And he's like, I think we should take her back. She wants to go back to the jungle. I think that's why she's having nightmares. So that was the introduction to Dr. Elliot. I like Dr. Elliot as a character. Is he my favorite? No, but I think he's an integral part of the team that's being assembled to go to the Congo. Thoughts?
Dr. Elliot was a cool character to me, but I really, really didn't like the character of Amy. I didn't like the ape. I just didn't vibe with it. I understand why she's in the movie because she's absolutely necessary, but there was something about the way that Frank Marshall shot the ape and all her interactions with all the other characters throughout the film that just really bothered the hell out of me. All the characters that are introduced in this movie, or most of the main characters, each one of them has a different reason for going to this island, and none of their reasons for going to this island are revealed right away. All those reasons are revealed gradually as we go through the story. So I really, really do appreciate how the screenplay writer and how Frank Marshall are feeding out the story. Although I don't like some of the elements, but I do appreciate the way that they are deciding to tell me the story.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. I remember watching it in 1995, looking at Amy the gorilla going, fuck, that's so real. Because in 1995 it kind of was, and I was
No,
a kid
yeah,
when I
no,
watched it, and I was like, I don't think I'd ever seen a gorilla. And I'm like, you know what? That passes for a kid. It passes for an adult. No, doesn't. Dr. Elliot ends up meeting with the dean of the university he works for, telling him he has to take her back to the jungle. But the dean says nobody's going to pay for that. Nobody. And then Homolka, Tim Curry, steps up and says, I will fund an expedition back there. Because what Marcella just said, everybody has their own reason for going to the jungle. And everybody's reason is different. So he says he's got money. I will fund the expedition if you want to go. So we're on the tarmac and we're loading the plane when Dr. Elliot is approached by Dr. Ross. Now she bombards him. She's like, hey, I need to be a part of your expedition. And he's like, what? No, no, no. Who are you? And she's like, no, I'm Dr. Ross. You're the only one that's going to the Congo. Like, I can't go by myself. I need to go with an expedition. And he says no. And she says, I've got money. And he says, I don't need money. Like, he's frazzled. He's all over the place. Then they start unloading the plane. And he's like, why are you unloading the plane? And she's like, I have to go. And he's like, I don't know what to do now. Hamaka approaches and he says, there's been an issue with my credit and I can't pay for fuel. And Dr. Elliot, in his absolute adorable wisdom, says, I'll pay for it. How much is it? And he goes, $56,000. And he's like, fuck. And then Dr. Ross smiles and says, you need me, because she's got a fuckload of money. And so that's how she gets on the expedition. And I really like that. I like the fact that her just being her, okay, she's a great character, but they need her in order to get to certain places because she's got the money, but they need Dr. Elliot and Amy to get to certain places because because Amy's going to lead them to the place that they need to be. So yeah, I like the characters a lot.
Yeah, first of all, I love the fact that Dr. Ross is able to provide the money to take the team to where they need to go in the film. But the one thing that I was wondering throughout the whole scene is she works for a guy, she works for a Elon Musk type of guy. Doesn't he have his own plane to charter to wherever he wants to go? Why would he send Dr. Ross to basically plead her way onto an exposition that is already, starting or is already going to start? That didn't really vibe for me. So I think that the screenplay writer and Frank Marshall just did that to sort of get all our main players together and push the story forward.
I think the reason why the CEO sent Dr. Ross by herself was because she's going to basically steal blue diamonds, right? So she's going he can't send a team because it's obvious. She has to tag along with another team that has another motive, like, oh, I'm just here and we're just delivering a gorilla to Africa, so nobody will know that she's actually there to get the diamond. I think that's why he did that.
She needs cover then.
She
Okay,
needs a
okay, okay,
cover.
okay, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay. After hearing you say that, it makes a lot more sense.
I only know that because I've seen this movie 100 times. That's all.
It makes sense.
So now we're on the flight, and Homolka brings up the notion of killer apes. But Dr. Elliot shuts it down immediately, saying there's no such thing as killer apes. But Homolka thinks that there could be, and we find out why he thinks that there could be. So they now arrive in Africa. We're at the airport, and they meet their guide, my absolute favorite character, Monroe, played by Ernie Hudson. And if you don't know who Ernie Hudson is, well, he's a Ghostbuster. So he is absolutely fucking legendary in this. The lines of dialogue they give him in this film, you just, it's absolute perfection. Anyway, he tells them there was an attempt because all these military rushing around the airport when they get off the tarmac, and they're like, and Dr. Elliot is like, is everything okay? And he tells them there was an attempted attack on the president, and everything is basically fallen to shit. And they want to shut down the airport. They want to stop people coming in. And then Monroe basically commandeers an army truck, telling them to fucking get in the back. The truck gets stopped at the gate, but is allowed to leave. And eventually they get pulled over on their way. And they get brought to a captain who sits them down when Dr. Ross says they are there legitimately, but the captain knows that she used to work for the CIA, so he has his suspicions that she's not there legitimately with a gorilla. She's just tagged along. Like, he's not stupid. So he thinks basically she's there for another reason, and he won't let them go. And it's such a funny scene. He's like, okay, have some tea, have some cake. No, just eat the cake. Just eat the cake. And so Homolka grabs a piece of cake, and the captain looks at him and goes, stop eating my sesame cake. And Homolka just like spits it out and then slowly puts it on has no idea what to do. The actor that plays the captain just delivers it so deadpan. It's so funny. So Dr. Ross knows, she's smart. She knows the go. So she hands Monroe cash to bribe the captain, and he asks for more. And so she gives more. And then he looks at Homolka and he tells them, I know him and he's a piece of shit and they need to ditch him. And he takes the money and he tells them they can go and good luck. The amount of money that she bribes him with, I looked it up. In today's money, it equates to over $100,000. That's how much she had to give him in order for him to instruct his troops to let them pass the border. But it's a funny scene. It's not too intimidating. And I just thought this movie, it does something really well. It balances drama and comedy, I think, really, really well. Anyway, thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. This movie does balance drama and comedy really, 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 really well. To that, on that same note, I love when the team lands in Africa. I love that the screenplay writer gave the team another obstacle. Not only are they all there to for different reasons and to get different things, but once they get to where they're going, the screenplay writer drops them in an unstable situation. So basically, they land where a civil war is happening. So I love the fact that the screenplay writer took our characters and let them get to where they were going. But the second that they got there, he took them and put their backs up against a wall. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the writing for this scene. I loved the fact that their guide in Africa is basically going to be Ernie Hudson. Like Dean said, he's a fucking Ghostbuster. Everything that he says in this movie is absolute fucking gold.
Yeah.
I also love the section when they basically talk to the warlord, everything that Hamoko does with the coffee cake is genius. It's wonderful. When Dr. Ross laid down that money, I'm like, how much fucking money do you have, girl? What the hell?
Yeah.
Do you think do you think that you're going to bribe yourself to get to get to everything you want? Like it's absolutely crazy. She is like the team's ATM throughout this whole movie, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely fucking love it. The only thing that really bugs me is there's a scene a couple scenes from now that Ernie Hudson has with Homolka, and I'm like, dude, if you knew who he was from the get, why didn't you say something when you saw him on the on the tarmac? Why wasn't that information revealed to the audience now instead of later on?
Well, Homolka's not a bad guy. He's just obsessed. So he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He doesn't want to kill anyone. He's not a bad person. He's just obsessed with this myth of this city. And
Right.
yeah, so he's just an annoyance. You know that little kid that's just fucking annoying, but she's just always there. That's Homolka. He's just annoying. That's why
Okay.
that's
Okay.
why Monroe doesn't do anything, because he knows Homolka's harmless.
To me personally, he didn't come off that way, but I think that I am viewing Homolka with some bias because he's fucking Tim Curry. So I think I was bringing some preconceived notions to the character that I thought he was going to be,
Right.
as opposed to the character that he is in this movie.
Okay, I get you. I get you. So now they have to catch a charter flight, and nothing is easy for them in the movie. They don't just go to the Congo and like, yay, here we are. Here's the gorilla. Nothing is fucking
Don't
easy.
don't you love that though?
That's what movies are supposed to be. You're supposed to put obstacles
Yeah.
in front of your characters and have them overcome or try to overcome, right? I love it. It's great. So they have to catch a charter flight into the Congo. And Monroe asks Homolka if he's still searching for Solomon City, and then explains that Homolka was a part of a disastrous expedition looking for a city called Zinj, but it doesn't exist. Now Homolka gets the shits and he goes, "It does exist." Every time someone says it doesn't exist, he just tightens up, and he's like, "It does exist." And I love the way that Tim Curry plays it, because he could have just played it like it does exist, like he doesn't care. But he's so pissed off when someone says it doesn't, when he fucking knows it does. He just fucking clams up. So anyway, Monroe finishes the story off by saying his entire team died and Monroe had to carry Homolka out of the jungle. That's why Monroe doesn't like Homolka, because he thinks he's searching for something that's going to get everybody killed that doesn't fucking exist. So that's a little bit of Homolka's story on why he's there. So everybody has different reasons on why they're on their expedition. Thoughts?
I really like the fact that Homolka has a really nefarious reason for being there, and I thought that that made his character a little bit more mysterious for me. Look, I know that we just said that Homolka is harmless, but I really thought that Homolka was gonna like turn tail and become some sort of some sort of villain for the team to have to deal with as they go through their trek. But the fact that he kind of didn't really kind of disappointed me.
You wanted Tim Curry to be a bad guy.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I wanted Tim Curry's character to be another problem for the team
Okay.
while they were dealing with a bigger problem.
Okay.
Because from a screenplay writing perspective, I thought the more problems that I could give these characters, the more we would actually see how they respond to tense situations.
Yes. Yep. So now we're on the charter flight, and they start getting fired on from the ground because they're violating airspace. They've gone over the border. They can't be there. There can be no planes in the sky. So this is another rock in the road for them. So Dr. Ross goes to the door of the plane, kicks it open, and then grabs a flare gun and sees a missile, because it's a heat-seeking missile, loads the flare gun, points the fucking flare out of the door, and then fires it, and it hits the missile. And I'm like, what? what the fuck? And she's the only woman there, and all the guys are looking at her, including they've got African guides there, big African guides, and they're sitting there going, "Who the fuck is this woman? Like, what the fuck is she doing?" So the guides with them that I just mentioned, they start handing out parachutes. And the team is like, no, no way. I would be like, no, no way. But they have no choice because Monroe says, the pilot and the co-pilot. And Dr. Elliot goes, yeah. And he goes, well, they've already jumped. So, so their plane's going to crash anyway. And it's like, oh, fuck. So they really have no choice. So one by one, they start jumping out. But there's a really, really cool scene where Monroe grabs another flare gun and he points it out the door next to Dr. Ross, and there's 2 incoming missiles and they both fire it and they both hit the missiles. And the way that it was shot, I always thought as a kid, that's such a cool scene. But anyway, everybody's putting on their parachutes, and Homolka is such a pussy. He's standing there and he's like, push me. You have to push me. And to be honest, I would be the same. I'm not Dr. Ross. I'm Homolka. In this situation, I'm Homolka. I'd be like, you have to push me. And the guide is smiling. It's okay. And he just kicks Homolka out of the plane. And then Dr. Ross comes and she just jumps. She just jumps. With a parachute. And I'm like, oh, and I love that because it just shows how pussy Homolka is and how fucking awesome Dr. Ross is. She just fucking jumps. Yeah, so I thought that was a really great action scene. Thoughts? Cello's laughing.
Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to catch my breath. First of all, why the fuck is Dr. Ross so fucking badass? Like, who the fuck does that? Who the fuck opens up the door of a plane while it's in flight? And where the hell did she get the idea to use flares to shoot the heat-seeking missiles that were being fired at them? What? This woman is unnaturally so fucking cool. But seriously, how could she figure that out?
Because it was established early on that she's a former CIA agent. So anything she does, it makes sense.
Oh my God, you're so right. Guys, I must admit, I blanked. I blanked out on that aspect. But you're right. Since she's a CIA agent, anything she does will make sense because she's a fucking badass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And, just one more quick word on my boy Homolka, first of all.
2 seconds ago, you hate him. You're like, he's my boy now.
He's such a pussy.
Oh, he's such a fucking pussy.
fucking push me. That was a fantastic scene. Just to put a button on. Oh my God.
So I just want to give a shout out. Because now they're jumping in there. There's a really, really cool shot of them all parachuting out of the plane. I want to give a shout out to the composer of this movie. Because Marcelo will know the composer of this movie. I love the score of this movie. The composer of this movie is Jerry Goldsmith. And Jerry Goldsmith, yeah, Marcelo's giving me a thumbs up. I knew he'd know who he was. I didn't. I don't know composers. Marcelo's the one that knows this. Oh, shut up. You know I don't know composers. Stop acting surprised. As if you're shocked.
No, I'm not. I'm just fucking with you.
Jerry Goldsmith, I wrote down a few of his things. I mean, unfortunately, he's passed away now, but his repertoire is crazy. Okay. He did the theme to the Twilight Zone, the iconic theme to the fucking Twilight Zone. He did The Omen, he did Alien, he did Poltergeist, Rambo, Gremlins, Legend, Total Recall, and of course, the creme de la creme, he did Star Trek, which is why Marcelo knows who he is. Legendary. Because I was sitting here, again, I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I'm like, who's the composer? I just looked it up. I'm like, oh my God. See, it's like a, you learn something new every day. So do you want to say something about, do you like the score of the movie?
Yeah. The score of the movie is very, very adventurous, but it also in certain scenes is brought down to be very, very ominous. So it's adventurous in some moments, but very, very subdued and very, very quiet and very, very mysterious in other moments. So I think that the brilliant Jerry Goldsmith did a fantastic job with the score. Not one of his best, but he did a really, really good job with the score.
Yeah, I agree. They land. They're trying to find each other, and Dr. Elliot says to Monroe, "Look, I'm a city guy. I can't be here." And he goes, "Look, I just want to call off the expedition." And you're like, you're in the middle of the jungle. What are you talking? Now you want to end the expedition? And Monroe turns to him and he goes, "Okay, well, I'm headed into the Congo, and you can go wherever." It's just like he just looked at him like, "What the hell? What do you mean you want to end the expedition?" It's like you could just go wherever.
I'm like, so when she said that, I was like, seriously, you couldn't have done that like maybe 5 seconds ago before they jumped out of the fucking plane?
Before they even got on the charter flight, like he's just chosen the most inconvenient time to go. I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm like, all right, well,
What the?
you have no choice.
When he said that, I just lost a bit of respect for him because I'm like, dude, you're in the shit now. You have nowhere else to go. Even if his cohorts agreed to end the expedition, they're fucked because when they landed, their fucking plane exploded.
Yeah.
So they're screwed.
Oh yeah, they're stuck. They're absolutely 100% stuck.
They're fucked.
Yeah. So they set up camp. So they're climbing up the mountain that the former expedition was on, and Dr. Ross has brought all this fucking equipment, right? Because she's like me. She needs creature comforts, and she's brought enough for everybody. And she opens a box and says, and Monroe's looking at it, and she says, "It's mini air conditioners. Is it too much?" And he says, "Shit, I'll take one." Imagine bringing mini air conditioners. Like, Monroe does not even skip a beat. He just grabs one. He's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll take it." So Dr. Ross ends up hooking up her satellite equipment and calls Travicom. And she speaks to the CEO, which is the arsehole guy, and he tells her he's had the image of the thing that killed the people analyzed, the thing that ran past the camera. And experts don't know what it is, but it kind of looks like a gorilla. Amy runs behind Dr. Ross making the transmission, and she knocks over the satellite and damages and destroys it. Now, the CEO sees this and thinks it's the same thing that killed the other team and gets really angry. But he doesn't get angry because, oh no, she might be dead. He gets angry because it's like, I want my fucking diamond. He's just a dick. Anyway, what did you think about that scene?
The fact that Dr. Ross brought a case of mini air conditioners with them on the expedition. This woman, first of all, this woman needs to exist in real life, and this woman needs to be my friend. Because I'm like, yeah, she's just fucking awesome. She thinks of anything. She thinks of everything. She's exactly like you, Dean.
You know what I like about the way that they've written Dr. Ross is because in nowadays, when you see female characters, they're just boss bitches and they're very masculine. Writers tend to take away the femininity. But what Dr. Ross, how they've written Dr. Ross is she has both, right? So she kicks the door out of an airplane. She fires at missiles. She's a CIA agent, but she brings fucking air conditioners with her because she's still a girl, right? She still has that feminine quality. So I think that they've written her in a way that captures her femininity, but says, yeah, okay, I'm a girl, but I can also do what the boys do. So I really like how they wrote her.
The monster of this movie, I thought it was going to be something bigger, and I thought it was going to be something more threatening, but fucking apes going crazy. I was like, God damn it, I wanted something more out of it. I was really digging this movie, but the fact that the main villains of this movie could end up being fucking roided out apes really kind of underwhelmed me a bit.
What would you have preferred it to, or what did you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be like some like ancient creatures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
But I should have known better because the movie's called The Congo, and we do have a fucking ape in this movie, a good ape.
Yeah. So a local tribe comes upon them, and and they tell them they found a white man dead, and the expedition go to where the tribe is and find them doing a ritual for the white man, asking for his soul to be returned to his body. Now we see it's an expedition member who survived the attack. But as soon as he sees Amy, because Amy walks up, he starts screaming, freaking out, and then basically dies of fright. And they all in unison look at Amy, who was just standing there. So right there, it's like, you know, Amy's done nothing wrong, but why is he so scared of Amy? And I think the first time I saw this movie, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? Thoughts?
I actually thought that was a really, really effective way to illustrate to the audience that whatever attacked the original team could have been something that looked like Amy or a creature of of that sort, right? So I think it was a really, really interesting way to build the mystery up for the audience as to what the hell attacked the original team and what the hell could our present team have to deal with later on in the film. So it was a great way to build up what is going to be the main villains of this piece. But also, since I've only seen this movie once, when I was a kid, so much of this movie, I was like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, what is happening here?"
What is
And
happening?
and yeah, and that moment when the guy dies and everybody looks at Amy, I'm like, I was like you when you were a kid. I was like, "What in the fucking hell is happening here?"
Yeah. So now they hop in some river rafts and they raft down the river. And Dr. Ross asks about the lost city of Zinj because she's interested. And Monroe explains that it's believed that King Solomon had a diamond mine in the Congo called Zinj. Monroe says people that have gone looking for it never come back. But Hamolka chimes in and he says Amy will lead us there because he found a book that contains a detailed drawing of the city of Zinj and a symbol of an open eye. Now, when he was on safari, he found a ring with the same symbol that shows, and then he shows Dr. Ross a picture of one of Amy's drawings and says, it's the same symbol from the book, from the ring, and from the painting. And he thinks Amy has actually seen the city because she keeps painting the eye. So I liked that. That was a little bit of kind of come down from the action sequences, and we learn a little bit more about the city of Zinj. It's funny because the movie starts out as Dr. Elliot wants to deliver Amy back to the Congo, but now we're in this treasure hunting movie for like lost ruined city in Africa, and it's like you never really know what you're watching. Like the movie doesn't start out like King Solomon's Mines, like we're gonna find King Solomon's Mines, and that's the Indiana Jones of it. It's like no, it's like halfway through the movie, it's like oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, cool. Thoughts?
This movie has several different gears, but the reason why it has several different gears is because all the main characters in this movie want to go to this place for different reasons.
Mm.
And that causes the film to have conflicting points of view. I love the scene in the boats when they're going down the river because I was thinking, okay, the last place that they need to go is to the city of Z because if they go to the city of Z, I bet my bottom dollar the monster that killed the original team, they're going to be in the city, and if they go there, they're all going to die.
Yeah.
So the river rafting scene served as a the river rafting scene made me very, very uncomfortable and made me very fearful for these characters who at this point in the film I'm getting very, very attached to, even Homolka.
Yeah. Yeah. Now listen, there is a very, very short scene here. We didn't need it, but as a kid, I thought it was really cool. It's the hippo scene. So they're in the rafts, they're at night and they get attacked by hippos. I think one or two of the guides die, and it's a fun action scene, but I don't think it added anything to the story other than let's just put like a action scene in it. And I think I read somewhere that hippos kill the most people out of any African animals. So they're like super dangerous. Anyway, thoughts?
Yeah, that really quick scene of the hippos killing some of the guides as the team is continuing to raft down the river. I thought that could have been taken out. But with that being said, it was very shocking for me to see hippos killing people, because that's not something that you see in movies every day.
So now they're halfway up the mountain and they're not sure which way to go because there's kind of two ways they can go, left or right. Now, Hamolka wants to follow where Amy wants to go, and Dr. Ross's navigation has broken. It's fucked. So she's like, I'll just follow the ape because I don't know where to go. So now they come across a shot down plane with no survivors, but Dr. Ross says it's from her company because her company's logo is on the side of the plane. And she said the CEO, like after Amy ran behind her when she was transmitting, he must have thought, oh no, something's happened, and sent another team, but they're all dead. All of them are dead because the fucking plane has crashed. So as they track through, that's important, but that will come back later. As they trek through the jungle, a male silverback, this is actually quite funny, massive male silverback gorilla steps out in front of them. Now, Monroe tells Dr. Elliot, do not move, don't run because they'll chase you. And he goes, yeah, I know. So the gorilla comes right up to Dr. Elliot, and the acting of this actor is just like he's sweating, he's terrified, like it's just so good. So it comes right up to him and then realizes maybe he's not a threat and then walks away. And it's just this close up of Dr. Elliot's face. And then we pull back and Dr. Elliot turns and everyone is gone. So Monroe told him, don't run. And there was 3 other guys behind him. And he turns and he's like, where the fuck is everybody? And then Monroe just pops up from hiding in the bushes. And he goes, you did good. I ran away. He's just such a puss. So just the way that Ernie delivers these lines is just the way he says, I ran away. Like it's just like a fact. I ran away, fact. And he's just so accountable for his actions. He's like, yep, I did it. Anyway, thought.
This this scene is so wonderful. I mean, his line delivery for most of this movie, hell, all of this movie is so fucking fantastic, and he's so good at releasing the tension after we have like a serious moment or a serious scene.
Yes. No, I agree. As they trek up the mountain, they find the previous expedition, but all the equipment and all the bodies are gone. But she notices she knows it's the place that Charles was transmitting from because she notices it's the same place. And she's like, where is everything? All the bodies, all the equipment, it's been taken. And that's really strange. So as they move on, they actually come upon the lost city of Zinj, which is very, very close to the camp. And it's this beautiful like temple structure with a foreboding head made of stone. And they decide to head inside the overgrown city. It looks like some ruins from like Cambodia or something, similar to like the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, you know what it reminded me? It reminded me of like a planet that SG-1 would visit. That SG-1
yeah.
would visit. Yeah, right.
Yes. It does look similar to. They probably did visit a planet that was similar to that, probably. So they head inside the overgrown city, and Homolka says they found the mine, then built the city around the mine so that it was protected. Now, one of the guides shows Dr. Ross a Hershey's wrapper. Now, we know that Charles was eating the Hershey's wrapper, and she knows that it's Charles. She goes to head into the same location where the eyeball was thrown, and Monroe stops her, and she says, give me a gun and a flashlight. I'm like, girl, like she just wants to
You're my hero.
She just wants to head in there with nobody. She's like, just give me a gun and a flashlight, I'll be good. They all decide they're going to go inside as a group. Nobody's going anywhere alone. And Dr. Elliot's assistant, who's been with him the whole time, decides that he wants to wait outside with Amy and 2 other guides because he doesn't want to go in. When they go in, Amy kind of wanders off and the assistant goes to find her when we see a big grey thing behind the assistant. We can't really see what it is and it's not up close, but then the assistant turns and is in absolute utter terror. So we know that this is probably the same thing that Charles saw, but we don't have a good look at it yet and we don't really know what it is. Thoughts?
I love the sequence where when the team finds a lost city, when he runs after Amy and when he gets attacked by something, I was like, oh my God, I actually like that guy. I didn't want him to die. But on the other hand, I got really mad at Amy because I'm like, why are you going in another direction? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just listen? Just stay still. This is not the time to be wandering off.
I know.
If nobody wandered off, half of these people wouldn't end up dead.
And they have to die.
Yes, they have to die.
So as the team enters the tunnel, they see hieroglyphs on the walls. So they step into like a big opening and they see cracks in the ground and there's like steam coming up and there's molten lava. And then they feel a tremor surge through the mountain and the city. And then they hear the assistant screaming as he tumbles down this massive staircase towards them, screaming for help, covered in blood. And then fucking just dies. He just fucking dies. And you're like, what? It's the same thing that happened to like everybody else. And then a huge gray gorilla charges them, attacking the team, and they end up shooting it and running out. Now we see the gorilla, but it's in flashes, so you don't you see it, but you kind of don't see it. But it's obviously some animal that's quite aggressive, and they have to shoot it multiple times for it to fucking even go down. Anyway, thoughts?
I think the one failure of this movie is the year that the time that it was made in. Now, the time that it was made in makes it charming, but the way they finally showed the gorillas, the big baddest movie, I didn't like it all because I'm like, really, apes, killer apes. Not only I have a problem with that, but I also had a problem with the way that they were shot. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I'm going to address that at the end in my trivia.
Oh, you are okay. Thank God. But I found the fact that they find hieroglyphs on the wall of the city quite interesting. I like that. So maybe the glyphs on the walls are going to explain why the apes are so fucking violent and feral and kill everything that they see.
So the team rush out and they see that the two guides that were left outside are also dead. And Homolka says that's why Solomon's diamonds were never found. The myth of the killer ape is true. So that night, the team, because it's nearing nightfall and they can't trek anywhere, so they've kind of got to stay within the city. So Dr. Ross sets up her equipment of sensor-operated machine pistols on the perimeter, which is like, girl, come on. Girl, you got this. Come. And it makes sense. You know, when a character does something, you're like, why would they even have that? It makes sense because the whole movie you see there's like 4 or 5 guides carrying all this equipment. This is her equipment, and it makes sense that she has this equipment. So that's why there's nothing that I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. It totally makes sense. So the machine guns start firing in all directions, and we can see flashes of the apes like trying to figure out what is this, how do they get in. So Dr. Ross can see multiple gorillas on the thermal camera trying to get in, testing the perimeter. Now, eventually they back off. Then Homolka says he has translated the hieroglyphs and it means we are watching you. Would I have preferred something better than that? Yeah, but we got what we got.
I loved the sequence of Dr. Ross setting up the camp with the lasers and the automatic guns. And like Dean said, it makes sense because she's former CIA and she's the type of woman that would be prepared. I absolutely love the sequence. And when the apes swarm the camp and they get some of them, a bunch of them get killed trying to get around the perimeter and try to find a way in to kill everybody. That was a great sequence. I just said like 2 seconds ago that I hope that these glyphs lead to something, and what they led to was like really disappointing. We're watching you. That's it. It could have been something better. We deserved better. We deserved better.
Yeah. No, I agree. So the team in the morning, the team pack up and they leave, but they need to go through the city in order to leave. So they come across cave paintings that show the natives of the city. It's basically telling the story of the killer apes. So the natives of the city domesticated gorillas. They taught them how to be violent, and they basically made them the guard dogs that turned eventually on their masters. That's why nobody's there, because they killed everybody, including their masters. Now they come across a pile of like gorilla bones. So they don't kill just people, they kill other gorillas and they bring the corpses back.
Right. They kill docile gorillas. Yeah.
Yeah, any other gorilla that's not them, they're so violent, they don't even care. So another earthquake happens and we see a nearby volcano about to erupt. This is what's causing all the tremors where they are. And this will come into play soon. So this causes the floor to basically collapse under the team and they fall into another section of the city. I liked that it was explained that this is why they're so violent over the generations, because this is over hundreds of years. They've just mutated into this like super fucking gorilla ape fucking thing. Anyway, thoughts?
I did listen. I did appreciate that this set of hieroglyphs really, really did the exposition of explaining to us why the apes are the way that they are. I did really, really appreciate that, and I did like the story cork that basically says these apes got so violent that they turned on their masters, and they turned on any other gorillas that weren't like them. I really, really appreciated these set of glyphs on the wall. But again, I wish the other glyphs would have been more helpful.
I wish the other glyphs would have been more helpful. Yeah. No, yeah. It's not helpful at all. We are watching you. It's not helpful. So
No, it's not.
no.
No, absolutely not.
So the team, they've fallen through the floor and they've actually fallen into the mine filled with diamonds. This is where the diamonds are. And Dr. Ross looks up and the cave walls, she sees numerous kind of holes in the rock, like big holes, and it's like hidey holes. And it's like, okay, well, that's weird. So
That's
Hamolka,
not good.
no, that's not good. Hamolka is in heaven. He's found the city of Zinj. His whole fucking life he's searched for this city and he's like a fucking kid in a candy store. He's like, oh my God, look at the diamonds. Oh my God, oh my God. And he picks them up and he starts filling his pockets and like, come on, they're diamonds. We got to take them. And everybody's just standing there because they know something's not right. Hamilka doesn't care. He just wants the fucking diamonds. So now dozens of these killer gray demented apes emerge from the holes and they start attacking everyone. And this is the first time you actually see the gorilla. And listen, when I watched this as a kid, they look like gorillas, but they're scary, man. Their face is all like it's like grotesque. I'm like, oh, that's a scary gorilla. I don't like that. That's a mean gorilla. I mean, now, yeah, okay, it looks fake. But when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, this is scary. I would not like to come up against this gorilla at night. Dozens of them emerge from the holes and they start attacking them. And Dr. Ross and Dr. Elliot try to find another way out while the rest of the team is fighting off the gorillas. And they find a smaller cave with human skeletons and Charles's body.
When Dr. Homolka finds what he's been looking for, his entire life, the diamonds and the lost city of Z, I'm like, dude, you're fucking gonna die again. There are moments in this movie that I really like him, and there are moments in this movie that I want to fucking kill him, and I just wish that he would have been written differently because the way that he goes out is so stupid. Man, look, okay. Enough about that disappointment. I love when these demented apes come out of their little hidey holes and basically surround everyone and start laying waste to the guides and everybody. It was really, really a tense scene. And Frank Marshall did a great job of giving the audience a sense of, oh my God, our characters, our people that we love, our people that we've been following throughout the course of the story are not going to get out of this. So it was the first scene in the movie where I felt that a lot of the people that I enjoy in this movie are going to fucking die because I couldn't think of a way that they were going to get out. Now, when we were taken to the other section of the cave where the bones are and the fact that we actually found Charles, seeing him lay on top of the bones they are dead was really, really disheartening to me because that's the only reason that Dr. Ross came on the exposition. And the fact that the love of her life was on a bunch of fucking bones was just really sad to me. And it took the wind out of my sails a bit.
Yeah. So the team are almost out of ammo and the volcano is now erupting, causing everything to shake when Dr. Ross says, buy me 2 minutes. She goes back to the cave where Charles is and she's such a unbelievable with this woman.
She starts building a what?
She starts building the weapon that we saw Charles demonstrate at the beginning, the fucking laser weapon, because Charles has a diamond in his fucking dead cold hand. So she grabs the diamond, she puts it in because the diamonds make it work, right? Meanwhile, while she's assembling the gun, Dr. Elliot gets grabbed by the bad gorillas and is now surrounded when Amy barges in roaring, and she basically runs to the gorillas using her talk thing, and the gorillas are confused. They're like, so they kind of back off because they don't know what to do. Then she approaches Dr. Elliot and basically cuddles him, which is really sweet. Then Dr. Ross assembles the laser weapon. It's kind of an intercut scene where we go back and forth. This is my favorite line. This is the best line of dialogue in the whole thing. She comes out with the laser weapon. Monroe is there. And she says, we're getting out of here. And Monroe says, what about them? Meaning the dozens of like gorillas. And it's like she just cocks the gun as she goes, put them on the endangered species list. And then she just decimates them. Just slices through them like butter. And I'm like, dude, this Dr. Ross is like the gift that keeps on giving in this movie. Honestly, there's nothing she does where I go, don't like that. She's just fucking amazing. And then the cave starts to fill up with lava because the volcano's gone off and the team have to run out and the remaining gorillas die in the lava. But I'm just like, dude, these characters, Monroe and Dr. Ross, are so well written and you connect with them so deeply. It's unbelievable. Anyway, thoughts?
Dr. Ross is such a boss bitch. I love the fact that she builds the laser weapon that we saw at the beginning of the film. That was a great hat that the screenplay writer of this film dropped way in the beginning, and I love the way that he brought it back. But the moment of the movie for me was seeing Dr. Ross come into the cave and and say, let's put these apes on the endangered species. When she said that, I jumped up out of my chair. I was like, yeah, bitch, you fucking fry those apes. They fucking suck. I absolutely loved that moment so much. It was so gloriously triumphant. I loved it. I absolutely fucking loved it.
There's a huge action scene where they're running through the jungle and they have to make it out to because the lava's coming and everything's crashing down. It's a really, really cool action scene. But after they make it out, they head back to the shot down plane that they passed before, and because it's got all the equipment still in the plane. Dr. Ross says to Monroe, open a yellow box, there's a balloon inside. Now, not a balloon, a big, big balloon they can get in. She sets up the satellite equipment that was in the plane. She transmits back to HQ and the CEO. And his first question is, did you get it? And Dr. Ross says, I have some bad news. Charles was killed. And the CEO replies with, did you get the diamond? And then she says very casually, do you remember what I told you? If I... Oh, God. That's so funny. So she says, if I ever knew you sent me here for a diamond and not Charlie, that I would make you sorry. And then she points the laser at his communication satellite and blows it out of the fucking sky. Bye-bye, Travacom. And it obviously cuts the transmission because there's no satellite to deliver the thing. But the fact that she just like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to destroy you and I'm going to destroy your company. Thoughts?
I've only seen this movie twice, but watching this movie, she's just such a boss. I can't. The thing that I love about her is that she is a character that sticks by her She's a character that sticks by her convictions. She told her boss that if she found out that her boss sent her to this place to get something other than what she wanted, she was going to do something that her boss didn't like, and that's exactly what happened. The fact that she's a character that sticks by her principles and does exactly what she says she's going to do if she feels that she's been fucked over, like it's fucking amazing. Like I love the moment when she shoots down her satellite company because she finds out that her boss was being untruthful to her. Like, it's absolutely great, and it's exactly what this fucking CEO deserves. He cares more about his company and his bottom line than the well-being of his fucking son.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
Fuckwits. Fuckwits do that.
Yeah, fuckwits. Absolutely
I
fuckwits.
forgot to mention that Homolka is killed by one of the grey gorillas upon.
Ah, dun
I didn't
dun
want him to
dun.
die. Finally he'd
No,
gotten his life's dream of finding it and he fucking dies, man. And I'm like, "Oh,
no.
well,
I mean, look,
at least he found it."
no, guys. To be clear, I've been kind of rough on this movie and Homolka throughout the course of, but I really enjoyed Homolka, and I was sad when he fucking kicked the bucket.
Yeah, yeah. So now we have a really, really sweet scene of Dr. Elliot finds Amy, who gives him a flower and signs to him that she's found some good gorillas. And Dr. Elliot sees two other gorillas and Amy walks to them and he knows that she's going to go with them now. And you can see the sadness on Amy's face as she leaves. It's a really sweet scene because out of all the action sequences, you've actually forgotten why they're there. it's so overwhelming. You're like, oh my God, killer gorillas. Oh my God, the lost city of Zinj. Oh my God, diamonds. And then it's like, oh yeah, we're actually here to like deliver a gorilla. That's right. But I thought it was a really nice tonal change.
That scene to really, really tie off Amy's story was really, really kind, and just a look that she has when she leaves Alex is just really, really heartbreaking. But in this moment, I was happy for her.
So the final scene of the movie, they've gotten the balloon working, and they jump in and they go. They're kind of really high in the sky, and Dr. Ross asks Dr. Elliot to do her a favor, and she hands him the crystal that she still has that makes the gun operate. She tells him to get rid of it, and he says, "Are you sure?" Because she just can't bring herself to do it, and she knows he will be able to do it. And then he tosses it over the side, and the kind of final-ish shot is we see Amy watch them go, and it's sad. It's a nice ending, and the people that survived were the ones that you wanted to survive. But it was a really, really nice ending, I thought.
To me, it was a somber and to me it was a somber ending. It was nice, but it was somber.
Yeah, I agree.
I really liked that Alex was the one that threw the diamond overboard, and it was a really, really cool shot by Frank Marshall to show it from Amy's point of view, watching the balloon descend into the heavens.
Yeah. Trivia?
Go ahead.
Okay, your issue with the gorillas,
Yes.
you're not the only one that
Yes.
had that issue.
Oh, thank God.
The gorillas were actually designed by Stan Winston.
You know what? I apologize because I love Stan Winston.
Yeah,
I apologize.
everybody does, right? But he didn't have enough time to do what he wanted to do. And he was so fucking disappointed, not in Amy, but in the killer gorillas. He did not like them at all. He thought that he could have done better. He thought he didn't have enough time. And he thought the scene that they were used in, which was the mine scene, it could have been foreboding. They could have been foreboding. But the fact that they were like, he didn't like the spotlight because everything was so bright in the mine. He was like, you've put a spotlight on these obviously fake gorillas, but if they were in the darkness and if the DOP had done a better job in that scene, if the director had done a better job, he was saying this, then his gorillas would have come across as he wanted them. He didn't like how they looked, so you're not alone.
Frank Marshall should have done a better job at showing the gorillas, and Stan Winston should have been given all the time in the world that he needed. I don't care. He's fucking Stan Winston.
Yeah, true. All right, first piece of well, that was the first piece. Second piece is it took 6 months of training for the actors to be able to convincingly act like gorillas in the suits because they were all people in suits.
It took them 6 months sounds about right.
Second piece of trivia is Michael Crichton actually wanted a real gorilla to play Amy, and it actually stalled the production of the movie for 10 years.
I love Michael Crichton, but he's been known to he was known while he was alive. He's not with us anymore, sadly, to have some outlandish ideas.
Yeah, look, I agree that
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that maybe it would have been better to use a real gorilla, but I don't think you can domesticate a gorilla to be on cue and to do this. I mean, I don't think you can do it. So
no.
Yeah. No. So that's where we were. That's where we are. My last piece of trivia. This is my favorite. Ernie Hudson, that played Monroe, has been quoted to say that this is his favorite role he has ever played.
Really?
Yep.
He likes his
better
role
than a
more
Ghostbuster.
more than Wow. Okay. Okay. I mean, look. After watching this movie and after sitting down with you having a discussion, despite my issues with this movie, I want a sequel.
A sequel. What would the sequel be? They completed the mission.
I have no idea what the sequel will be, but I want to see these characters interact again. I want to see these characters team up again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Anyway, that's the end of my trivia. If there's nothing else, I will bid everybody a good night.
No, take us home.
We hope you've enjoyed our review of Congo. If you like the episode, please like and subscribe. And don't forget, we have over 100 reviews up for you to listen to in all different genres. Coming up next week, we have an absolute classic. We are reviewing The Usual Suspects. So please come back with us next week so you can listen to our analyzation of the usual suspects. And as I say every week, if someone is kind enough to make you a mixtape, that must mean that they really love you. The Mixtape Podcast is a Balloonhead Productions presentation.